Well, welcome back everybody, and welcome to the beautiful and quite unique town of Whittier on the south coast of Alaska. Now, we arrived here a couple of evenings ago and it was the most beautiful place. Gorgeous blue skies, no wind, the water was like glass, and we had grand plans to get up in the morning and go out paddleboarding with you. We've been waiting for 2 days, and ever since it's been grim and grey and windy. So it's time to move on. We've just come in the back to batten the hatches, and we've spotted something. What you got, boy?
We've got a little seal. We've been searching the shores the whole time we've been here because apparently orca come in, and we haven't been lucky enough to see them, but I'll take a seal any day. Seal or sea lion?
I don't know, has he got whiskers?
I don't know. I'll have to put it on the big screen.
And whilst that is a lovely way to start the day, I don't think anything can beat what happened the first day we got here. Unfortunately, we got it on the dash cam.
Second day's
Only
down,
thing they do here year round is the lazy otter tour.
Oh, right. Well, they're the one that looked the best on the pamphlet.
Yes, they're down there.
What?
The otters.
You've got to be kidding me. Oh my God, babe.
Look. You see them?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Get the camera.
What do you think, Jess?
Literally, my childhood dream come true. I was obsessed with watching these at the zoo when I was little. I can't believe I'm looking at this thing in real life. I honestly could have cried. I had tears in my eyes watching them. I get a bit emotional thinking about it now. But we were watching them and they were diving down into the water and coming up with the little shells, rolling over onto their backs, and then using their little stones to like crush the shells and eat the clams out from inside, and swimming around and washing, and they were just amazing.
There was 2 of them, and I must say I weren't that impressed before, but after watching them it was incredible to see. It almost looked like they didn't have eyes as well, hey?
Yeah, I think maybe they just sort of like have
Close
a different
them
eyelid to go underwater. Yeah. But I still do need to see them just floating along holding hands. That one's still on the bucket list.
Yeah.
As well as the wildlife, this tiny little town is quite interesting in itself. It was built in 1941 after the Japanese attacks on the Aleutian Islands as a deep-water secret military base, and was chosen because it never freezes over, it's inaccessible by land, and often lost in fog. It was fortified in the Cold War, and then the military pulled out in the 60s. Nowadays, most people live in one building, which was constructed to house military personnel. The other major military building here has been abandoned and is now a ruin.
My favourite thing about this place though is it's like a little den, because the only way you can get to the place is by boat, by plane, or this tunnel that they've carved directly into the mountain. What's even more weird is the fact that it's only one way, so you've got to wait your turn to go back or forth. So I think they go on every hour.
Yeah, and half hour the other side. And they shut it at night as well. So if you come to Whittier at night and you want to leave, you can't. They also say that it's an engineering marvel because it goes through solid granite rock, and they had to blast it all out. And until 2000, the only way you could come through it was on a train. They didn't open it to cars till after then.
The driver's era, not what you expect either, look.
He's itching his bum.
And yep, he is a dog, not a person.
Best looking driver I ever did see.
And we're off.
Into the layer.
Whilst I think it's strange that the only way to get there before was by boat and by plane, there's so much of Alaska that's still like it now, eh?
You can only get to a quarter of Alaska by road. Just mental to think the amount of Alaska that would be so properly untouched.
Because is Juneau, can you drive to Juneau?
No, the capital of Alaska you can't even drive to. You have to go on seaplane or a boat.
See, we did think about going, but it's obviously going to cost a lot of money. Then you'd have to leave the van, and then if it froze and all that blah blah blah. But I think it would be great to go see anyway.
Yeah, I think we'll have to come back one day and do a cruise around Alaska and get some of the bush planes too. For anyone holding your breath, we've made it out.
Blue is the color of the ocean. Blue is the color of the sky. All my life there's been commotion.
And that's a glacier, isn't it?
That is Matanuska Glacier.
It's pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool.
Or is that just one of your terrible dad jokes?
No, it does look well done, Jess. I'm impressed.
Sitting right here.
The last few days it's not dropped below 0 and it's been up to about 8 degrees, which has felt tropical.
I feel like
And
we're on a summer holiday.
I'm even in the old shorts today, which is lovely.
The heater only kicked in once all day yesterday when we were in the back editing. We had it at 23 as well.
But when we've gone back into the snow and seeing all the landscape and everything, because we've not had it for a few days, it's sort of bringing back all the emotions and all the just
good memories from the trip. Yeah.
just beautiful.
It's all you need. It's all you need. It's all you need. It's all you need.
Whenever we drive through national parks, Jess always tells me the size of it, and it doesn't mean diddly squat. So she has to explain it in a lot simpler way. So explain this one to everyone, Jess.
So today's national park wilderness area that we are driving through, Ragnall St. Elias, is roughly the size of Switzerland. So if you imagine taking that whole country, taking away all the roads, all the 8 million people that live there, all the towns and cities, you can put 40 people back in. And that is the kind of wilderness we are talking about here.
Pretty big. One thing's for sure though, them people would be some interesting people to meet, eh?
They'd have some stories.
I reckon when they see people, it's like when we see wildlife. It's like, oh my God, there's a person!
There she is, look. The old border. Oh, Canada. Feels a bit like we're going home.
See if it's as easy as last time.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, of course.
Where do you folks live?
We live in England.
And what were you doing in Alaska?
Just touring. So we went and did the Dalton Highway, went down through Denali, and then like circled back and came back up.
Go safe travels.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
We're in.
Go on, Canada. Well, that was nice and easy, as expected, and I think probably so because John kept his mouth shut for once. So much so, the lady was like, "Does shaking your head mean no?"
Yeah,
She
she
really
wanted
really-
me to talk, but I've learned that if they ask me where are you going and I go, they obviously think this bloke's up to no good, doesn't he?
So he leaves the talking to me.
Big day. But what I love about these park ups is a lot of them have got these boards with all information about the area on. But my question is, if you pulled up and there was a for sale sign with a picture of your face on it and all your details, like your bank details, your national insurance number and your date of birth, would you leave it there? After I'd pulled it off the wall, screwed it up and put it in the bin, I'd want to know who made the poster. And the culprit? Data brokers. These data brokers make profiles about you, which is basically a big poster, and then companies buy all this information off them. And they use it against you when you go for things like a job, when you want to get a loan, or you try to get insurance. Worst part about it is they shouldn't have the information, and a lot of the time it's wrong.
They also have an appalling security record and get hacked all the time, which means that criminals can do things like pretend to be you, take out a bank loan in your name, and you know nothing about it.
Thankfully, there's a company called Incogni, who is the sponsor of this week's video, who will rip down all them posters for you so nobody can get your information.
So if you want to take control of your personal information, Incogni have given us a massive 60% discount on an annual plan. All you have to do is use the code TRUEBLUE at the checkout, and I'll put a link in the description for you. Realised I hadn't given you an update on the old upgrades to the diesel powered hairdryer. She is a beauty. 10 out of 10.
And I have to say, all the upgrades we've done on the old van since the last trip have worked a treat, because we've never run out of battery power this whole trip, and we never even had a hint of a pipe freezing, even in minus 34. But one thing we still do is this cover that goes on the water heater here. We always put it back on because we're always paranoid about the air getting in there and freezing the water heater. Whether it makes a difference, I don't know, but because it hasn't froze, I'll never not be able to do it now anyway.
On the menu tonight at restaurant a la Sainsbury's Van, got a fan favourite, the old halloumi wraps. And for all of you who say I am a savage, John has eaten one wrap before I've even sat down.
Indigestion. I think we need to update the people as well, don't we?
Update the people.
How are your armpits?
Well, I've had a shower and I've had a shave, so they're much less spiky. As is my attitude every time I have a shower too.
I got quite a few comments on that, and my favourite ones are where people just say, poor woman, ...
I think we can all agree that I should receive a medal for putting up with you.
Anybody recognise this spot? Third time's a charm, we're back in Whitehorse.
We're full.
We're full?
Full. It's not often that we visit the same town 3 times on a trip, but for all the places we've wanted to go recently, all roads lead from Whitehorse. We could have taken the inside passage on a boat down through Alaska, but that was about £2,000, whereas I calculated our fuel to get us all back down through Canada and it's only going to be £400, so it was a no-brainer.
It's funny what you notice in other countries for different things that we don't get back home, and one of them is that tow bar over there, look. So you see how it's got 3 different sizes on it? I was just Googling it and they reckon obviously the smaller one is for light duty trailers, then the next one up is for heavier duty trailers, and the biggest one is for gooseneck trailers.
Whitehorse is a great place to stock up to. You've got just about every kind of shop you could need. But I think my favourite thing is that being back in Canada, because we've travelled here for so long, I know all my favourite things. So it's just like being at home. Like I know that these are the best chocolate chip cookies. If you live in Canada, you haven't tried them, get them in your basket.
You remember I was telling you as well that everyone's got a broken windscreen? I'm sure you thought I was making it up. Well, broken windscreen, broken windscreen, broken windscreen. We're part of the club though. Oh, I haven't shown you the crack. Let me show you the crack. Oh, look at that. She is halfway across the windscreen now, so I'll definitely have to replace that when we get home, because in England we've got a thing called MOTs, which means you take your vehicle to a test station and then they check it over, and if it's not roadworthy they fail it, so you can't drive it on the roads until you get it fixed. Well, out here it doesn't seem they have that. And also, when I was younger, an apprentice, the old boy said to me, grab some goggles, boy, we're going for an MOT, and it had a crack in the windscreen and they couldn't replace it in time. So if it was going to fail, we were going to have to boot the windscreen out and then it would pass. And then when we drove home, we just have to have the goggles on with the wind blowing in our face. But how that makes sense that it will pass with no windscreen whatsoever, but with a crack, it's a fail. It's just madness. Shall we show you what she got, look? Where's all the cookies, Enjoy on?
I'm showing people the cookies.
What are these? That's what you normally send me for.
You're not putting that in.
What have we got? No good stuff anyway.
Just...
Yeah, they are though. I knew you'd get some. We had a comment the other day from Rich Flynn. Shout out Rich Flynn. And he said that what we should do is we should...
Shut your door.
Shut your door. But we should do an outtake reel of all like the swearing and all the things that Jess doesn't let me put on, and then make it like a little link that you can click on so all the Karens don't get upset. So I like the idea of it, Rich, but I think I should do a whole episode. I haven't got the episode yet, but I've got a little reel for you, so here it is. Just check that one. That's it. That's it. That's it!
Just wait! I can't. I don't have a door to put back on it. I pressed the line.
You don't get angry with me like that. We've talked about this.
Punch you in the ass instead. Would you like me to do it to you?
Get off.
Would you like
Drive it.
it?
You want to crash and die?
Well, do you want to die just because I kill you die? Leave me alone. So annoying.
Before we leave Whitehorse though, I've got one more stop to make, and this one is thanks to you lovely lot. Now I'm really sorry, I can't remember who it was that actually made the suggestion because I got way too excited about it. So let's just hope they've got some in store. Happy days, they've got them. Nanaimo bars by the tray. Great success. They're frozen though, so should I put some in the freezer so I don't like eat the whole lot just tonight? Because it is 850 grams.
She was worried about the price of food until it comes to Nanaimo bars. How much was that, Jess?
$18.99. But if you think, right, if you think that for just one little one this size you pay like $3 or $4, it's actually a bargain.
Bargain, eh? And I've got another shout out for somebody in the comments as well. His name's Brian, because when we went to go see the old snow freighter the other day, remember when I showed you that? Well, he was saying in the Yukon, they've got another one at the Transportation Museum. And funnily enough, we're just driving past and we've seen it. I think this is like the Mark II version. Now they've still got the engine in the back and the electric motors on this one, but you see at the top there, that little clear dome? Well, they used that when they were driving at night so they could use the stars to navigate.
Just a usual day in the Yukon. Woolly mammoths at the side of the road.
Messing about?
Are
I'm
you
joking,
serious?
I know that one.
You know what was about with the woolly mammoth though?
What?
The old muskox.
Are you impressed that I knew where we were? The old Yukon?
I am impressed.
Thanks to Brian.
And the massive sign on the museum.
Canada, you had best not be lying to us. There best be bears for the next 40 Ks.
Look where we are, look. The old backpack blower bridge.
They're not out today though, boy.
Remember the backpack blower? Oh, the backpack blower! He's got a still one though.
Houston, we have a slight problem. What's occurring, boy?
Run out of diesel. Not us, the pumps. There's 4 pumps here, only one of them's diesel and they're totally out. But I don't know, I'll show you over here the problem we've got with some of these fuel stations. There's loads of fuel stations on the highway, but most of them are under about 4 foot of snow.
The reason this is more of a problem today is unless we want to go past where we're going and come back again, our next fuel isn't for 270 Ks. And we've just calculated what that is in miles. It's 168 miles. What does the range on the van say we've got?
169. But I've just started driving now and it's dropped to 159 straight away, so who knows what it's going to be. It's not the end of the world because we've got the 40 litres of diesel in the jerry cans, but it just goes to show if you're doing trips like this in the winter, you definitely need to have something like that. One thing's for sure, the old Leadfoot won't be driving anytime soon.
But it's a sad day as well because we are leaving the Yukon for the last time and we're crossing back over into British Columbia because we're just about to start on the Stewart Cassiar highway, which basically goes from nowhere to nowhere. But the reason we're doing it is we saw Overlanding Sophia do it and they saw loads of bears. This 700-kilometre road is an alternative route south that travels through remote wilderness. Fortunately, we made it to the first fuel stop, but later, because we were distracted by the beautiful scenes, the jerry cans still got to work out.
In a weird way, I'm almost glad we've nearly run out of fuel because at least we didn't bring her for nothing.
The closest we got to bears were these footprints, which we're claiming is bear prints, but we did see some beautiful young moose, taking our moose count to 12. What was also nice to see was some warmer weather. You all haven't seen these little beauties for a while, have ya? Sun's out, guns out. This let us see a different side to this incredible landscape. But every time you think you've left the snow behind, you turn the corner and you're right back to it. Fortunately, Canada delivers come snow or shine.
Where's the pins or the defender when we need it, eh? What a beautiful spot this is.
And we're especially grateful for it after spending the last few days driving 3,700 kilometres from Alaska all the way down to southern Canada. We're in Fort Macleod, just south of Calgary now. And I suppose we better tell you why we've done it. So let's go find John.
So because we've been doing all this driving lately, you know what it's like, you do a lot of talking, and we decided to go home.
We have had a rather large change of plans because, as you know, we'd always planned to go home in the summer and use Big Red, but what we hadn't said is we'd actually planned to come back to the US afterwards and spend another winter here, hopefully a sunny one in Mexico. But we've decided we're going to take her home with us now.
Yeah, well, with the cost of flights to go back and forth and storage, everything like that, that was going to be a lot of money. But also, we've hemorrhaged money on this trip. And I'm not moaning one bit because look what we've done. We've done helicopter rides, we've skied 6 times, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, and we'd rather come here and fully experience everything and not go, oh, I wish I'd done that, and be here for a shorter period of time than come here for a longer period of time but leave loads of stones unturned, I suppose you could say.
But money isn't just the reason we're doing this as well. So when we come back to do America and Mexico, from what we've seen today, cements our thinking,
thoughts, yeah.
that we want a 4-wheel drive to do it because we'd love to come down. When we had that Defender and did all the trips we
got all
did,
the off the beaten track camping spot.
we don't regret bringing the Sainsbury's van
No.
again because of what we did. We knew we were going to the Arctic and things like that.
And she's done us so proud. We haven't been cold inside the back of that van once in this whole entire trip.
Yeah, so again, don't regret it. But also, there's been a big change at home as well. So
Nothing bad has happened. And no, I'm not pregnant. Everyone is fine. And we're not keeping it a secret as such. It's just we don't want to say what our new plans are and then them all fall through and not work out.
and we don't want to seem like messes. So
No.
we'd rather make sure everything is sorted and then
Yeah.
we'll tell you what's going on.
But
So
it is a big change of plans and life
Exciting.
direction as well. It's
Yeah.
very exciting. So as soon as we can actually say about it and we know it's a sure thing, you guys will know.
But we're not just going to shoot home. I've done loads of research and have all sorts of ideas of what we're going to do when we go back.
What are the names of the states we're going through, John? But no, seriously, we have got loads of cool things planned as we go back through the US. Hopefully they'll let John back in and then we'll get over to the East Coast and ship out from there. So thanks ever so much for coming with us this week and don't forget about that Incogni link in the description.